The Kumeu Agricultural and Horticultural Society began district shows in 1921 on leased grounds. In 1948, the Society purchased its own land and has since run it as a working farm that, once a year, hosts the A H Show. Derry Falder has been involved for around 45 years.
It's always been A&H because horticulture has been such an important part of this district at Huapai, especially with Maori name Huapai, good fruit, and that's what it was since 1914, and horticulture has always been a part. So it still remains Agricultural and Horticultural Society. It was a showcase of what the district could produce. Those days the show only ran for one day, and it went until we had a grand parade at about 2:30 in the afternoon, and all the winning animals of sorts and all the tractors and that all went out there, did the parade. The dignitary pronounced the Kumeu show open, and then everybody went home and most of the farmers went to milk cows or similar. That's how it was. The Kumeu A H Society got a special act of parliament that preserves these grounds for future generations. Can't be subdivided or cut up. We're all volunteers, apart from 2 employees, so the secret is having more volunteers and more people with a district interest at heart, and younger ones, because getting a bit old, some of us. All committees struggle, all our local committees around here all struggle to have new blood and coming in, especially younger ones, because they're all heavy mortgages and paying off big money, but they're sitting on $1 million pieces of land, which is Auckland.
I was just asking our volunteers and the public to be on the lookout for a little girl called Leah wearing green pants and a pink top.
The key activity would be the Auckland Axemen's Club run the wood chopping here. They're running their own activity, runs for 2 days, full program. The agility dogs in the far corner are got their own thing going for 2 days. All the sheds, beef one day, alpacas the next. Who would have had alpacas 20 years ago? What are they? Now we've got 120 entries in alpacas. So as lifestyles change, that's what's being shown. Sheep shearing, competition.
Over the last few years I've been putting a group together to try and display for the visitors something of the heritage of the show, really, going back to agricultural days. What I do each year is just try and find out everybody locally that's got tractors, send them an invitation to come along, get them free tickets, and try and encourage them to come along to the show and display their tractors. They don't have to be show ponies. Something like this, which is relatively old, even more modern tractors, anything come along, try and ask people to get some implements on the back as well. So it's really to just show people, particularly coming out from town, what tractors are all about. Usually people are interested, like to try and hang around and ask questions and this sort of thing. And it was interesting this year when I was doing hay that the local hay contractor happened to be doing a paddock right next door to me with all his modern gear, and I'm trolling down the paddock on my Massey Fergie 135 and hello. Probably got a third of the speed he was, but still doing the job. I think it's, for people coming out of the town in particular, is to see these things up close. More than happy to talk to them. Kids like sitting on them and that sort of thing, and just see them all up close. It's changed over the years quite a lot. I mean, this area was a massive area of market gardening in particular in the past. We've got 10 acres that was broken up from a big dairy farm probably 30, 40 years ago. So there aren't that many big farms around these days. Most of us have got 10 or 20 acres and just enjoy driving and using tractors that we perhaps brought up with as boys and back in the days, you know.
We have a wide variety of categories in the show. We start with the flowers, cut flowers, and a dahlia section. And then we have a floral art section. We have an iced cake section, which is very popular, especially with the young people as well. And then we have a produce section, which it's expanded quite a lot. People now, especially young people, keep hens in their backyard, so we have an egg section. So that's interesting. And the pickles are next on the list, and they have grown as fashions change, really. You know, as people get into pesto and pickles and things like that, it's grown again. It ebbs and flows. Baking, we've got children's section right down to kindergarten level. So we try to keep the indoor section, to keep it growing, we need to involve children, you know, so we've got that section, and also the art and craft section is very children orientated as well. So that includes things like pottery or whatever's fashionable at the time. And then we come right around to the handcraft section and knitting, where ladies show off all their handiwork. I just spent some time looking back at the 1921 schedule, and it was interesting to see that things in those days were done because that's what women did. This, I'm talking about the indoor section now. Like sewing was very, like an apron or something very workmanlike. And nowadays it's more hobby orientated, so things that people get into, rugs, tapestries, you know, art forms, different lace making, all sorts of things, yeah. So, yeah, that's changed. Photography's relatively new, I suppose, late 50s, 60s. We started off with slides. So we had slideshows, just as quite a small section, because the indoor section wasn't held here. It was held in an old shed. And we used to have to go and clear the wire netting away and pick up the dead possum and the birds and things, you see. So now that it's in here, the photography section's become really popular. We have anything from 600 to 300 and odd would be our lowest, but we've had as many as 600 entries in the photography, so it's very, very popular. I think a very big part of it for town people. You know, I know my own grandchildren love to come to the show and see all the animals. It's a major attraction, I think, for them. So, because often they don't get the opportunity to visit farms these days. So that's a major attraction.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.